9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Greetings, my fellow free and low sovereign thinkers. Thank you for tuning to LL3 Podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful realms of planet Earth. Today's date is Tuesday, January 27th, 2026. This is episode 1932, and it's called Distracted Driving Death Toll. Before I proceed, you can find me on multiple social media sites and podcast channels. Just type in Looky Luck number 3, Looky Luck Roman number 3, which are 3 eyes, or the Looky Luck Roman number 3 podcast. Furthermore, if you have any questions, comments, recommendations, and all that good stuff, whatever you do, please use decorum. Hit me via email to ll3.podcast@proton.me if you're going to donate to PayPal at me or Cash on app /Looky Luck number 3. Yes, so hopefully everyone's staying warm. They got caught in that winter storm out there trying to clean some stuff up. Pretty damn cold, you can say, but I will manage. And everyone else hopefully will be doing the same. And always got to be vigilant. Even myself, I got to learn a few things too, how to prepare. And I'm getting better at it. It's like everything, it's like life in general. But I'm doing okay. Just so much chaos as usual. Finger pointing. Slaves versus slaves. Going at each other's throats. You got arrogance from both sides. You know, people like talk about free speech, want to impede. And still questioning what happened to Alex Pereira. And I've been analyzing a lot of stuff too. And I do see some discrepancies as well, even from the ICE officer. You know, because it is a fact that you're responsible when you use a firearm on somebody. Self-defense, all that good stuff. If accidental discharge, that's the person who's holding it. Got to take responsibility. And of course, when it comes to activism, protesting, you always got to think Art of War 101. And I see exhibitions even from Alex, may still be forever free. It's not all lovey-dovey either. But we all know one thing for sure. Minneapolis has been a crap hole, politically speaking, for a very long time, but since the whole George Floyd debacle, the propaganda machine, mind-controlled extravaganza, it was very decrepit. And it's horrible to say that because there's some still beautiful people that live in that city, but they're all being shafted by what's really happening. Who benefits? The technocrats, in my honest opinion. The police did. They all want to blame on one person. Think about it, folks. Don't go on your faction cult hype, regardless what side of the paradigm you're on. It's a lot bigger than what it is. Yes, they do have a job. ICE does have a job to get people in good faith that are illegals, especially with a high criminal rap sheet. You got folks out there who are hiring these individuals as pawns of the game on the other side. Try to tell them how to do things. They're all being exposed for what it is. And it goes even to some of the legislation in the state of 10,000 lakes. Also, all you have to look at is observe everything responsibly. Even people on Facebook, they all act like experts. To me, it's a waste of energy. They try to compare us to Kyle Rittenhouse. Spare me the moment. Spare me. All you got to do is watch the trial. The prosecuting team of Laurel and Hardy were horrible. So People complain they don't want to do. They all think they're experts now. You don't know damn thing about the information war. And how many of you actually been on jury duty? That's a good question. If you haven't, you shouldn't be saying a damn thing. I do recall when Nicholas Cruz was being arrested and all that. They're looking for the trial. I was, what's taking so long? And I asked that gentleman one question. Have you ever been to jury duty? He goes, oh, no. And I told him it was a case I did in Broward County, Florida. And it was 2 counts of first-degree murder case. Death penalty was going to be used. It was going to be life in prison, 2 terms. That was the goal. It was a very complex case. This I don't know about the case now, but I do remember that case itself. When I was in jury duty, I was on March 2019. This was happening in 2007. There's so many cases stacked up. Even the judges have to you don't even have any vacancy to fill their calendar to be flexible. You have to look at that side too. And everyone's saying I know other dingleberries out there. Oh, well, police should learn to get a law degree. Well, are you going to get one? That's the question I asked them. They don't want to hear that. All these peasants, faction cults, slaves, whatever you want to call them, is totally ludicrous. One thing I can tell you, folks, is a lot bigger than what it is. Many people call it another Bolshevik Revolution 2.0. There's merit to it. Here's a little history lesson. There's some books on that. How they funded the Communist Revolution, the Wall Street, and the Nazi Party. There's books on that. You should read them. Study a little history before flapping your lips or watching something in the idiot box, whether it's Sean Hannity or Rachel Maddow, Mark Levin, or Newsvax. All these people are weak, pathetic, garbage media. Start contemplating for yourselves. Citizen journalism has accelerated. Am I surprised? Absolutely not. They're the same people that want to throw frozen balls at independent journalists in Minneapolis. All the same idiots probably believe J6 was an insurrection. And I'm not even a Trump disciple, for God's sakes. We have to look at those angles a lot more thoroughly. And even with that what's that one gentleman's name? Fanone? Michael Fanone? Very juvenile indeed. 45 years old, acting like he's 5. And telling one gentleman, it was Ivan Larkin, I think his name is. I hope I may mispronounce his last name. Calling him, saying you threatened his family, threatened to rape his kids. Well, that's what we call a pretty sick-minded individual. That man has issues. Because I remember Ivan did talk about his book about how he drinks with Swalwell, Pelosi, and a few other folks, Raskin, and then having dinner with Liz Cheney and Richard Cheney, the late ungrateful Dick Cheney. Yeah. So right there, he says he's calling Ivan the traitor of this country. You're nothing more than a hypocrite, with all due respect, and you do have issues, my friend. You do have them. You're being distorted. I don't know if you took the jab or not, but if you've been boozing a lot, I don't know what other things you've been taking. If you think wearing that Dropkick Murphys shirt that make you real cool, forget about it. I remember too when they were like in a small little club before they got huge. Please, it's just folks. Everyone's being like so like delusional now. Some people may say it was the COVID jab for all we know. I wouldn't be surprised. There's even reports on that too, how it affects them psychologically, neurologically, and all that. It's just insane. If that's the case, I've been vindicated because I refuse to take the jab. And some people don't like it. They try to tell me I should take it. They can't even take care of themselves. And I digress. Well, still a lot of things are happening right now. So, folks, pay attention. Don't get involved. Don't entrap yourselves. And And another thing as well, how much they're paying these people to go out there. This one person made a claim, oh, look at these white nationalist guys are protesting, blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah, don't be surprised they're funded by a Rothschild-related institution as well. But you got to look at those angles real thoroughly, my friends. So enough of me ranting right now. I'm going to read this article. Came from the Freight Waves. Yeah, freightwaves.com. And it came out today. It's by Rob Carpenter. Distracted driving's death toll. What a viral Dashcam lawsuit means for CDL holders. FMCSA data shows distraction is the second leading cause of the fatal SMV crashes. A viral Turo incident and the lawsuit that follows show why carriers and drivers can't afford to look away. She was texting both hands on the phone, eyes down for nearly 20 seconds straight at highway speed. I watched a woman who wrecked a Turo rental car in August 2025 initially told the vehicle's owner and Snohomish County Sheriff's deputies that another driver ran her off the road. What she apparently forgot was that the 2013 Nissan Leaf and exterior dash cams and the 18-year-old owner had told her about them before she had turned the key. She was even offered the option to disconnect them. She declined. The footage went viral. Millions watched a nurse practitioner bury her face in her phone while piloting 2 tons of metal down a rural 2-lane road before drifting to a mailbox and coming to a rest against someone's property. Now, in January 2026, she's suing Turo, Meta, YouTube, and Reddit, claiming she was illegally recorded. The camera saw everything, and now she wants the court to see it. We're living through a distracted driving epidemic, and it's getting worse, not better. The numbers. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reported 3,275 people killed in distraction-affected crashes in 2023. An estimated 324,819 were injured. Police documented nearly 782,000 distraction-related crashes that year alone, representing 13% of all reported collisions. Those numbers are almost certainly understated. NSTHA's own analysis suggests a true annual death toll from distracted driving may exceed 10,000, roughly 29% of all traffic fatalities. Because distraction is notoriously underreported at crash scenes, dead drivers don't confess to scrolling Instagram. The trend lines are moving in the wrong direction. Percentage of drivers observed manipulating handheld electronic devices while driving increased 36% between 2014 and 2023, from 2.2% to 3%. Nearly half of American drivers now admit to texting while driving, according to a 2024 survey by the Zebra. That's a 31% increase from just 3 years earlier. Among younger drivers, the numbers are even more alarming. 55% of Gen Z and millennial drivers acknowledge texting while driving, compared to 33% of boomers. 10% of drivers ages from 15 to 20 involved in fatal crashes were reported as distracted, the highest proportion of any age group. Trucking for stakes are exponentially higher. A fully loaded tractor-trailer at highway speed needs a length of a football field to stop under ideal conditions. At 55 miles per hour, looking down at the phone for 5 seconds means traveling 306 feet completely blind. FMCSA research found that commercial motor vehicle drivers who dial a mobile phone while driving are 6 times more likely to be involved in a safety-critical event, a crash, a near crash, or unintentional lane deviation than drivers who keep their hands on the wheel. For the CDL holders, one violation can end everything. Here's what the conversation gets serious for anyone holding a commercial driver's license. Under FMCSA regulations, using a handheld mobile phone while operating a CMV is classified as a serious offense. The first violation carries a fine up to $2,750 for drivers and up to $11,000 for carriers that allow or require drivers to use handheld devices. But the financial penalties are just the beginning. A second conviction within 3 years triggers a mandatory 60-day disqualification. A third or subsequent violation means 120 days on the sidelines. And that's before we talk about what it does to your CSA score. Texting while driving a CMV carries a severity weight of 10 in FMCSA safety measurement system. The maximum category equivalent to speeding more than 15 miles per hour over the limit. That violation will follow you in your pre-employment screening program record for years. Every carrier you apply to will see it. Every insurance underwriting pricing your employer's policy will factor in it. In an industry where a clean record is currency, a handheld device violation is a self-inflicted wound that never fully heals. You don't need to get a citation for a violation to hurt you. A driver vehicle examination report can be issued without a ticket, and those CSA points still hit your record. The distractions. The phone gets all the headlines, but it's not the only threat. Cognitive distraction, the mental diversion of attention from driving, may be even more insidious because it's invisible. Research published in Accident Analysis and Prevention found that emotional stimuli can modulate attention and decision-making with adverse effects on driving behavior. Studies from the Virginia Tech Transportation Institute discovered something that should terrify every fleet safety manager. Drivers experiencing strong emotions, visible sadness, anger, or agitation showed a tenfold increase in crash risk compared to emotionally neutral drivers. 10 times the risk, not from phones, from feelings. I call it driving under the influence of emotion, and it deserves the same attention we give to alcohol and devices. A driver who just got off the phone with a spouse announcing they want a divorce. A driver who just learned their kid got expelled from school. A driver who's been stewing for 200 miles over a dispatcher's disrespect. Cognitive distraction can reduce brain activity associated with driving by up to 37%. According to research cited by the National Safety Council, and unlike a phone, which you can put down, emotional distress doesn't have an off switch. And physical distractions, eating, drinking, adjusting climate control, reaching for objects, and the mental distractions, mind wandering, daydreaming, ruminating about problems back home, and you start to understand why distracted driving kills more people than any single variable except impairment. The large truck crash causation study found that distraction and inattention were the second most common driver-related factor in fatal SMV crashes, trailing only speeding. In 2022 alone, distraction or inattention was recorded in 278 fatal large truck crashes. The camera is your witness, which brings us back to that Turo rental and the Dashcam that wouldn't stay quiet. In trucking, we've had a forward-facing camera for years. The professional driver I work with a nickname witnesses. Those cameras protect drivers when four-wheelers cut them off. They protect the carrier when frivolous litigation comes knocking. And yes, they expose the truth when a driver makes a bad choice. The woman in that viral video made a choice. She chose to text. She chose to lie about it. And when the footage made her a cautionary tale for millions, she chose to sue the platforms hosting the evidence. The lawsuit will play out however it plays out, but the footage isn't going away. Neither is the reality it documents. The camera didn't ruin her reputation. Her hands on that phone did. The other side of the coin, that Turo renter knew about the camera and declined to disconnect it. She had noticed, she had a choice, and that's why her lawsuit faces an uphill climb. Carriers installing driver-facing cameras with biometric capture capabilities don't always extend the same courtesy to their drivers, and they're paying dearly for it. In July 2025, Lytix hopefully I pronounced that name correctly, finalized a $4.25 million settlement with approximately 885,000 truck drivers who allege the company's Dashcam system collected facial scans without proper notice or consent under Illinois' Biometric Information Privacy Act. The settlement covered drivers whose biometric data was collected between October 2016 and January 2025. That same year, HMD Truck settled a class action lawsuit after drivers claimed that the company installed a driver-facing camera without the required written disclosure and consent forms under BIPA. Lilly Transportation agreed to pay $132,300 to settle similar claims involving multiple major dashcam providers, and the granddaddy of them all, BNSF Railway, paid $75 million to resolve claims that fingerprint readers at Chicago rail yards violate biometric privacy laws. Illinois' BIPA requires any private entity collecting biometric identifiers, including facial geometry, captured by AI-powered cameras to inform individuals in writing that data is being collected, state the purpose and duration of use, obtain written consent before collection, and maintain a publicly available retention at destruction policy. Violations carry statutory damage of $1,000 per negligent violation and $5,000 per intentional or reckless violation. A 2024 amendment limited exposure by counting multiple scans of the same individual as a single violation, rather than separate infractions. But the math can still get ugly fast for large fleets. The compliance burden falls on carriers, not vendors. If you're running a driver-facing cameras with AI-powered behavioral monitoring or biometric data collection, you need more than a sticker on the dashboard. You need a written biometric data policy. You need informed consent in writing before that camera ever captures a frame of the driver's face. You need that documentation in the driver file, not lost in an orientation packet nobody reads. States beyond Illinois are watching. New York, Massachusetts, and Missouri have considered BIPA-style legislation. Texas and Washington have their own biometric privacy statutes with different requirements. The irony is that a woman who has warned about a dashcam and chose to ignore it is suing for invasion of privacy. Meanwhile, carriers who install biometric surveillance systems without telling their drivers are writing 8-figure settlement checks. The camera is a tool, like any tool. It can protect you or expose you. Managing the data the camera provides and obtaining consent are a key building defensible program. The difference is action and accountability, disclosure, consent, and documentation. What do we do from here? Distraction prevention can stop at a policy in the handbook. It requires training that addresses cognitive and emotional distraction, not just device usage. It requires a culture where drivers feel comfortable pulling over when they're not fit to drive, mentally or emotionally. If you're deploying driver-facing cameras or any telematic system that captures biometric data, you need a documented process that includes written biometric data policy that's publicly available, clear disclosure to drivers about what data is being collected and why, written consent is obtained before the first frame is captured, a defined retention schedule and destruction protocol, acknowledgement forms are in every driver's qualification file. Do not assume your telematics vendor handled this for you. They did it. The liability is yours. Telematics vendors can provide valuable resources to help fleets build and implement their systems, programs, and policies, but you must do the work and manage them. For drivers, particularly those holding CDLs, that text, that call, that moment of emotional fog, none of it's worth your career. None of it's worth your life or someone else's. The Federal Communications Commission notes that more than 8 people are killed or injured daily in report distraction-related crashes, the actual number is almost certainly higher. We can do better. We have to do better because the cameras are always watching, and they tell the tale. What can we say about that, folks? It's good to know to always think of these as tools, not your lifeline. And this is just one example, and this could be penalized. Don't be surprised if it trickles down to people who drive regular vehicles. All right? That's what's going to come down to it. It's just a precedent that could go down to them. To always let that sink in. And I've seen people on their phones, they ran a red light. And they're on their damn phones. Like a second the light turned red, and they're still going. I see them with their phones down. That's very dangerous. Everyone has to take responsibility on driving the vehicles. Regardless if it's personal, commute, or business. We all got to take responsibility when we're behind the wheel. We all have our moments too. Yes, things do happen, but when it comes to these devices, they're your tool, not your lifeline. And all you folks out there complaining to your husband or wives, they're on the road. Don't argue with them when they're working. Let them do it when they're on their break and all that. You gotta be fair. We're all human beings. We all need to pay attention, be well rested, don't be overtired. Fatigue does kill as well. Well, that will be it. I thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share us throughout your social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, recommendations, all that good stuff, whatever you do, please use decorum. You can hit me via email to ll3.podcast@proton.me. If you want to donate, go to PayPal me or Cash on @/logo3. If you want to support freightwaves.com, it'd be pretty cool. They got some good stuff on everything else, not just the driving, but freight work, all that, airplanes, boats, ships, shipyards. Good to know economically as well. So observe responsibly. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that the demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading the love. And may your guardian spirits be with you.